traité sur le commerce des armes par un renforcement de l'engagement et de l'action parlementaire dans les processus internationaux. Ce séminaire qui a pour objectif de fournir des outils qui permettent aux parlementaires d'identifier, d'influer sur la mise en œuvre du programme de développement durable à l'horizon 2030, du traité de commerce sur le commerce des armes et du programme d'action des Nations Unies en vue de prévenir, de combattre et d'éliminer le commerce illicite des armes légères et de petit calibre sous tous ces aspects. L'articulation de cette cérémonie officielle se présente comme suit. D'abord, nous aurons les mots de bienvenue qui seront dits par les personnalités ci-après citées. En première position interviendra Madame Karine Olofosso, secrétaire générale du Forum parlementaire sur les armes légères et de petit calibre. Suivra le mot de Madame Adja Kamara, chef de délégation régionale adjoint du Comité international de la Croix-Rouge pour l'Afrique du Sud. La quatrième intervention sera celle de l'honorable Liliane Tingos, membre du Forum parlementaire sur les armes PC, attendu les armes légères et de petit calibre. Et le mot d'ouverture du séminaire sera dit par son Excellence l'honorable Roger Kolodan, président du Parlement panafricain. Après ces allocutions, suivra une pause café et une séance de la fête. On procédera à la prise de photos de groupe et à la suite, ça suivra une pause café. Et les travaux reprendront après le retrait des officiels. Les travaux reprendront à partir de 10h30 avec la première thématique consacrée à la mise en œuvre du programme de développement durable à l'horizon 2030 et de l'objectif du développement durable en Afrique. Voilà un peu l'articulation. Et donc, sans plus tarder, j'invite Mme Karine Olofosso, secrétaire générale du Forum parlementaire sur les armes PC, à dire son mot. Madame, je vous en prie.
Your Excellencies, Honorable Roger Nkorodang, President of the Pan-African Parliament, Ms. Haya Kamara, Deputy Head of Delegation of the International Committee of the Red Cross, Honorable Lilian Timbeos, Member of Parliament of Zimbabwe and Member of the Parliamentary Forum on Small Arms and Light Weapons, Honorable Parliamentarians, distinguished members from the Diplomatic Corps and panelists, dear ladies and gentlemen. Imagine if all of Midrand, the part of the city of Johannesburg where we find ourselves today, with its population of approximately 160,000 people, and adding 50,000 people more from the neighboring area, died from one year to another. Imagine if during a year 575 women, men, girls and boys in this area died every single day. This is a grim scenario that I sincerely hope will not happen, but I am picturing this to you to give you a fair idea based on the current statistics of the number of people who are dying every day and every year around the world in violence caused by small arms and light weapons. My name is Karin Olofsson and I'm the Secretary General of the Parliamentary Forum on Small Arms and Light Weapons. It is indeed a great pleasure to see you all here today. Gathering around this important cause is a vital step towards strengthening our common efforts to realize a more peaceful world. The situation in the world related to armed violence is very serious. Each year, 875 million small arms and light weapons in circulation worldwide cause the tragic death and injuries of thousands of individuals. Here in South Africa, I've seen the statistics that 18 people are killed every day by guns. These disturbing facts underline the urgency of our shared reality and call for concise and effective action to prevent and reduce armed violence. Armed conflicts and violence, regardless of its scale, are perpetrated by the uncontrolled availability of small arms and light weapons. The misuse of these arms has devastating consequences worldwide. As highlighted by the Secretary General of the United Nations in his latest report on small arms and light weapons to the Security Council in 2017, such weapons are multipliers of violence and fuel conflict, impeding peace and sustainable development. In Africa, several countries are severely affected by the flow of illicit arms. According to a rather recent study by Oxfam, the human costs of uncontrolled arms on the continent include injuries and fatalities, forced population movements within and across borders, erosion of social cohesion and communal trust between people, accelerating poverty and intensifying gender-based violence. The risk of gender-based violence heightens in conflict situations, and it is estimated that more than 45% of African women have experienced violence as a result of armed conflict. This is, of course, unacceptable. The African Center for the Constructive Resolution of Disputes, ACCORD, reports that 5 million fatalities on the continent over the past 50 years can be attributed to small arms and light weapons, which amounts to approximately 100,000 deaths per year during that same period. The question of uncontrolled arms, their illicit acquisition and their transfer is a recurring security dilemma in Africa. Only a minor percentage of the illicit arms are produced here on the continent, as arms are commonly introduced via illegal channels. The majority of the estimated 30 million uncontrolled arms, small arms and light weapons, are found in crisis zones and other security challenge environments on the continent, as confirmed by ACCORD. Most conflicts in Africa involve non-state actors using these weapons, as I'm sure you're well aware. Since non-state actors, including militias, warlords and extremist groups, have no legal authority to purchase or bear arms, they resort to illicit means of arms acquisition, mainly through diversion from state stockpiles, black markets and trafficking, as well as from unauthorized local arms producers. Small arms and light weapons considerably increase the lethality of violence perpetrated by non-state actors, with devastating costs to individuals, families and communities. The horrendous actions of such actors could be prevented with a tighter and more effective arms control. In sum, my friends, the availability and uncontrolled flow of small arms and light weapons negatively affects sustainable development and peace and pose a threat to human security and sustainable peace. Every human life lost by bullets, be it a woman, a man, a boy or a girl, is a loss for the loved one of this person and for the whole society. It is also a violation of the right to life that is embodied in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Everyone has the right to life, liberty and security in its person. In the challenging world of today, we must focus on the opportunities that exist to contribute to peaceful and sustainable developed societies, including the reduction and prevention of armed violence. And we must work together across the world, across party political lines, to find solutions. And your presence here today, for me, it is an example of determination and commitment to seek ways towards more peaceful and inclusive societies. Political will is vital for realizing efforts on prevention and reduction of armed violence in the national and regional context. Therefore, this seminar seeks to increase parliamentary understanding and ownership of international instruments that guide and regulate conventional arms, as well as promote increased parliamentary participation and action in international processes. The purpose of the seminar aligns with the African Union flagship initiative, Silencing the Guns, by year 2020, which aims at realizing a conflict-free Africa and liberate future generations from the burden of conflict. A vital step paving the way for increased human security, sustainable development and peace is to strengthen parliamentary commitment and engagement in the implementation of the Arms Trade Treaty, the United Nations Programme of Action to prevent, combat and eradicate the illicit trade in small arms and light weapons in all its aspects, and the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, that together provide a solid platform to work at different levels to prevent and reduce armed violence, paving way for a more peaceful tomorrow. Connecting the dots, that is, to identify the synergy effects in the use and implementation of these three mentioned international frameworks. It will be the specific focus for the coming days with the aim to boost implementation. This seminar will identify parliamentary priorities and recommendations here in Africa that will be condensed into a regional parliamentary action plan as part of preparation to the third review conference of the United Nations Programme of Action, which will take place in June this year in New York. The Parliamentary Action Plan will present your priorities and underpin the impact of the review conference, that is, bring your African parliamentary priorities to the international policy level. This seminar takes place within our initiative Connecting the Dots, funded by the United Nations Office for Disarmament Affairs. The first step within this initiative constituted a seminar in the Latin American and Caribbean Parliament last year, where parliamentarians who participated now are working hard on different actions and measures on preventing and reducing armed violence in their region based on the priorities identified. Now it is time for this second step here in the Pan-African Parliament, and which will be followed by a third step in Asia in May. Allow me to express my sincere gratitude for the generous support from the Pan-African Parliament and for agreeing to organize this seminar with us in the forum. The event is also organized in collaboration with our members, with international organizations and civil society organizations. We, the Parliamentary Forum on Small Arms and Light Weapons, are an organization where our members, the parliamentarians, constitute the core of our work. As a forum, we have more than 230 members in approximately 80 countries around the world. And please allow me to take the opportunity to channel a greeting on behalf of our president, Honorable Touné, senator in Uruguay, former Minister of Interior, that unfortunately did not have the possibility to join us here today. She's greeting you all and state with pleasure that our membership grown recent years, and among them especially African members. And for sure we welcome even more members around the world and here in Africa, as unity gives strength and underpins the impact of the work we are pursuing to reach a more peaceful world. The forum was founded in 2002 in the Congress of Spain through an initiative by Latin American, Spanish and Swedish politicians. For 15 years, the forum has contributed with policy building and capacity building and strengthening arms control globally, increasing understanding among parliamentarians on the problem of small arms and light weapons, and the development of best practices for the reduction and prevention of armed violence. Effective steps to tackle the uncontrolled proliferation of small arms and light weapons are crucial to prevent armed violence globally. In view of the parliamentary roles as the legislative oversight and awareness-raising functions for national implementation of international arms control frameworks, parliamentarians, you play a vital role in armed violence prevention and reduction. The roles related to the adoption of relevant legislation and regulation, overseeing the government's implementation and compliance of national and international arms control instruments, holding the government accountable and raising awareness among all levels of society for the well-being of the people. Speaking on awareness raising, I also invite you to participate in our upcoming social media campaign, Words Over Bullets, where we will raise awareness on the negative consequences of soul-related violence and the vital role you can play for a change. So during the coffee break, we will also invite you to take a photo with hashtags, and you will have the opportunity to participate. This will be launched in relation to the revision conference later in June. This seminar reflects a fundamental part of our approach to realize our overall objective, that is, to contribute to the achievement of more peaceful and developed societies through parliamentary action against armed violence to increase human security. Our hope is that this seminar will serve as a point of dialogue between different actors and parliamentarians. It will be an opportunity to exchange views, learn, discuss, and conclude the seminar with greater knowledge and set priorities, which will allow for further action and support you as parliamentarians to discuss and adopt laws and other measures relevant to ensure the well-being of the people and the peace on this continent. So, thank you all for being here and for the vital efforts realized in your respective daily realities and for your continued commitment. I am very much looking forward to a productive seminar. Together, we can silence the guns and create a more peaceful world. Thank you so much.
Merci, Madame. À présent, j'invite Madame Aïdia Kamara, chef de la délégation régionale adjointe du Comité international de Croix-Rouge pour l'Afrique du Sud. Madame.
Merci beaucoup. Honorable Roger Nkodo Dang, President of the Pan-African Parliament, Ms. Karine Olofsson, Secretary General of the Parliamentary Forum on Small Arms and Light Weapons, Honorable Lilian Timveos, Member of the Parliamentary Forum on Small Arms and Light Weapons, Ambassador, Excellency Ambassador Mpoko, Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, Honorables present here, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to begin by congratulating the organizers for putting together what promises to be a very interesting 2 days of discussions. Almost 2 decades ago, the International Committee of the Red Cross was called upon by state parties to the Geneva Conventions to examine the impact of the easy availability of weapons on the plight of civilians in conflict situations. Based on its daily experience working to protect and assist victims of war worldwide, the organization concluded that the proliferation of weapons in the hands of new and often undisciplined actors had increased civilian suffering and violations of international humanitarian law. Later, the entire International Red Cross and Red Crescent movement committed itself to reducing such preventable human suffering by calling on states to strengthen controls on the availability and transfer of arms and ammunition. When the UN adopted the Program of Action on Small Arms and Light Weapons in 2001, ICRC welcomed this. Since then, much progress has been made towards establishing a variety of mechanisms and norms which can produce long-term effects. States, international organizations, and NGOs invested considerable resources in research and practical projects aimed at reducing the unregulated availability of small arms and its negative effects on communities. Yet even then, it was difficult to conclude the program of action. It was difficult to conclude that the program of action alone saved lives on the ground or led to an overall reduction in the availability of illicit arms. To ensure effective regulation, global control on arms brokering activities, and agreed standards for international arms transfers were needed to complement the program of action. So when the Arms Trade Treaty entered into force in 2014, this was a historic achievement because for the first time, we now had a global norm for responsible arms transfers. The ICRC was particularly pleased with the treaty as it was humanitarian in nature, as it is humanitarian in nature, ensuring that it takes into account humanitarian concerns and that it covers a wide scope of weapons, including small arms and light weapons. During negotiations for the ATT, Africa was amongst those insisting that small arms and light weapons be included in the list of weapons to be covered by the treaty. For us here, these are weapons of mass destruction. So the ATT is very relevant for Africa. In its work protecting victims of armed conflict and other situations of violence, the ICRC has borne witness to the human and social cost of unhindered arms transfers. States that support parties to armed conflicts by supplying them with weapons have a special responsibility, as they provide the means by which IHL violations may be and are being committed. They must use their leverage to ensure respect for IHL by the parties they're supporting. This includes ending arms transfers when serious violations are manifestly occurring. Or otherwise where there is a clear risk that they are being committed. In this way, the ATT holds the promise of saving lives and reducing the availability of arms transfers. The ICRC acknowledges the overlap between the humanitarian purpose of the ATT and the Sustainable Development Goals. This intersection is based on the international recognition that armed conflict and other situations of violence present major obstacles to maintaining development gains and actually threaten major development reversals. The continued availability of arms fuels protracted conflicts and hinders post-conflict development efforts. Regional and communities affected by conflict and other forms of armed violence are often left the furthest behind and can develop into pockets of underdevelopment. The ATT can have a real impact on those affected communities. So the ICRC's mission and mandate to alleviate human suffering and protect and assist people affected by armed conflict and other situations of violence sees us working tirelessly in the same direction as the SDGs. Against this backdrop, we are happy to see that the treaty's humanitarian activities and objectives are being discussed as part of a roadmap towards the SDGs. The ICRC calls on all states that have not yet done so to ratify and accede to the ATT. In this regard, parliamentarians play a vital role in ensuring that the first step to ratification takes place, as well as subsequent steps to ensuring its implementation and incorporation into domestic law. The ATT and the Program of Action are complementary. What once received political support should continue. It should not be abandoned. As such, the ICRC encourages states to commit to the practical measures they have committed to under other instruments such as the Program of Action. This year, the third review conference of the Program of Action chaired by France will provide the opportunity to consider synergies with the ATT, including best practices to prevent the diversion of illicit proliferation of small arms and light weapons, and to promote transparency and accountability in small arms. The ICRC looks forward to these discussions and continues to offer its support to states towards implementation of the commitments made under the ATT and the Program of Action. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, let me close these remarks by acknowledging the important role that parliamentarians play in ensuring that international norms are implemented within state. It is not the mere existence of the ATT or mere commitments under the Program of Action that will make the difference. It is the implementation of these standards. ICRC calls on all parliamentarians to play a leadership and advocacy role in ensuring implementation of norms and standards to reduce the availability of illicit arms. I thank you for inviting us here, and I wish you fruitful deliberations.
J'invite Madame Liliane Timvos, membre du Forum parlementaire sur les ALPC, à prononcer son mot.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. All protocols observed. Mrs. Karen Olson, our Secretary General, Honorable President Roger Kondo, Dan, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Lilian Timvias. I'm from Zimbabwe, and I am a member of the Parliamentary Forum, and also in my country, I'm actually a member of the Peace and Security Committee. As Zimbabwe, we signed the Arms Trade Treaty, and we are still trying to ratify the Arms Trade Treaty. As parliamentarians and the Committee on Peace and Security, we have been working with the Parliamentary Forum for quite a few years now. And it's really, really important to actually sign as countries. And I'm hoping that this seminar, it has come close to home. Usually we are always at international forums, but they actually considered Africa this time around, and I'm actually grateful for the Parliamentary Forum, because I am hoping that as governments of Africa, we are going to understand that our people in Africa are dying because of these small arms and light weapons. There's a lot of criminals that have these small arms and light weapons. There's a lot of armed robbers going on. In Zimbabwe, for instance, just the last 2 weeks, we heard that there were Zimbabweans in this country that actually robbed a bank at gunpoint, and you know, they were killed on the spot. Governments have to really consider, where are these guns coming from? Where are they really coming from? And without regulating this, we will never know. So as the Parliamentary Forum, they've actually, as a parliamentarian, I've actually been taught a lot by this forum, and in my country, I'm doing a lot to actually enlighten people, enlighten others, and parliamentarians, they now know that at least if we have this ATT and we ratify it and domesticate it, and if all countries do all this, and we have this something to regulate, something that can actually see that we know as countries that how many guns we have, and we regulate. I don't think if your gun is registered, you can use it to kill someone, because you know that you are going to be arrested. So governments have to really take this ATT seriously, and I am happy. I am not sure if South Africa has signed the ATT. I'm hoping that they will sign. There are so many countries that have actually signed the ATT. And some of them have ratified it as well, and they've domesticated. So in my country, we are working on ratification. I know you know that our government has been having problems here and there, but we are trying, we are actually on the road to recovery, and I'm hoping that the new government is going to take this ratification seriously. I had actually a meeting with the Minister for Home Affairs, and they're actually taking the ATT very seriously. So I am happy about this seminar, and I'm hoping that governments are going to take this issue very seriously. I'm sorry I was a bit late as well. I got a bit lost, but I'm here now. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
J'invite à présent Son Excellence, Monsieur le Président du Parlement, l'honorable Roger Kolodang, a prononcé son allocution d'ouverture. Monsieur le Président, s'il vous plaît.
Excellences, Monsieur le Président du Sénat du Congo, Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs les chefs de Chambre, Excellences, Monsieur le Doyen du corps diplomatique, l'ambassadeur Benem Poko, Excellences, Mesdames, Messieurs les ambassadeurs, les représentants des organisations internationales accréditées en Afrique du Sud, honorables membres du bureau du Parlement panafricain, honorables Liliane Tevos, membre du Conseil du Forum parlementaire sur les armes légères et de petit calibre, Madame Karine Olofons, secrétaire générale du Forum parlementaire sur les armes légères et de petit calibre, Dr Adja Kamara, directrice adjointe du Comité international de la Croix-Rouge à Pretoria, Mesdames, Messieurs les présidents des commissions permanentes du Parlement panafricain ici présents, Mesdames et Messieurs les facilitateurs, Mesdames et Messieurs les membres du personnel du Parlement panafricain, Mesdames et Messieurs, permettez-moi tout d'abord de vous souhaiter la bienvenue ici dans votre Parlement, mais également à l'orée du Nouvel An, de vous présenter les vœux de meilleur que le Parlement panafricain a formulé à chacun d'entre vous, mais également à vos familles respectives. Excellences, Mesdames, Messieurs, une fois encore, l'Afrique va se pencher sur un problème qui n'est pas le problème africain. À ma connaissance, à moins que je sois mal informé, aucun pays africain n'a eu une usine de fabrique d'armes. Mais de manière générale, de l'Afrique du Nord en Afrique centrale, de l'Afrique de l'Est en Afrique du Sud, en passant par l'Afrique de l'Ouest, la consommation des armes légères et de petit calibre a atteint des proportions très inquiétantes. En acceptant d'abriter ce séminaire, c'était pour avoir des réponses. Les parlementaires que nous sommes, nous ratifions toutes les conventions internationales dans nos parlements respectifs. Ça n'a jamais duré. Mais le problème qui devrait se poser ici, il ne faut pas venir chercher la solution du problème là où le problème ne se pose pas. Le problème se pose en amont. Dites à ceux-là qui fabriquent des armes d'arrêter et la prolifération des armes va s'arrêter en Afrique. Nos populations souffrent. Madame vient de parler d'un cas de braquage. Je ne pense pas qu'il se passe un seul jour en Afrique sans qu'un Africain soit attaqué par une arme. Encore que le port de cette arme aujourd'hui est devenu incontrôlé. C'est tout le monde qui a une arme. Donc je voudrais féliciter les organisateurs de ce séminaire qui tiennent compte non seulement des objectifs de l'agenda 2063, mais surtout de l'agenda 2030 qui voudrait qu'en Afrique, qu'on taise les armes. Et ma question, et comme tous ceux qui sont ici, est de savoir comment allons-nous taire les armes si ce n'est pas nous qui les fabriquons. Parce que c'est ça le véritable problème. Nous ne fabriquons pas les armes. Comment nous, on va les taire? Si les usines, si l'industrie de l'armerie continue à être florissante, si ce commerce continue à générer des bénéfices chez les fabricants, comment allons-nous taire les armes? Je voudrais rassurer aux organisateurs que l'Afrique est un continent pacifique qui veut véritablement se lancer dans son développement. Et aucun développement en Afrique n'est possible aujourd'hui dans le contexte actuel, miné dans la région centrale par la menace Boko Haram, dans le Sahel par tous les groupes djihadistes qui y opèrent, et dans les pays individuellement par ces grands bandits de grands chemins qui utilisent les armes à feu pour s'aimer la panique et la mort. Je voudrais donc, pour terminer mon propos, dire le problème, ce n'est pas nous. Nous, tout ce que vous allez envisager comme convention, comme motivation, ça sera bienvenu. Et vous voyez la qualité des représentants ici. Quand vous avez dans une réunion le doyen du corps diplomatique avec tous les ambassadeurs, le président d'assemblée, le président des sénats, les parlementaires, ça veut dire que votre message va atteindre nos différentes capitales prises séparément. C'est pour dire que votre séminaire ici est non seulement un séminaire de qualité, mais dont nous attendons des résolutions de qualité. Je voudrais donc, au nom du Parlement panafricain, vous souhaiter encore la bienvenue et souhaiter, comme la plupart des présents ici, que ce problème d'armes légères, nous puissions trouver des solutions. L'Afrique des indépendances, 60 ans après, nous ne devons plus vivre la psychose des armes. Nous devons nous chercher dans le développement. L'Afrique doit transformer ses matières premières. Et dans les grandes zones où se trouvent ces matières premières, c'est la jungle, c'est l'arme qui parle. Comment allons-nous développer? Comment nos enfants vont-ils progresser? Comment le continent va se développer si on a toutes ces armes qui prolifèrent dans notre continent? Donc, Madame le Secrétaire général, nous attendons beaucoup de vous, de ce que vous attaquez ce problème à la base et que nous, peuples africains, nous ne continuons plus à souffrir. Sur ce, je déclare ouvert les travaux du présent séminaire. Je vous remercie pour votre aimable attention.
Je viens d'être informé qu'il y a une petite vidéo qui appelle votre attention. Je demande à ce que la projection soit faite juste 2 minutes. Après cela, je vous invite à la prise de photos de famille avant d'aller à la pause café. Merci.
Den 19 januari 2016, klockan 6 åkte jag och min man hemifrån. Sa hej då till alla barn. Och det sista jag sa till Alejandra var, ta hand om er. Vi ses om en vecka.
Och så ser jag att det kommer någon väldigt hastigt ut från eller alltså från källaren, trapporna, inifrån porten. Och vi märker ju inte först att han är maskerad, vad som händer. Men ändå så ska jag hålla upp portaren väldigt hastigt ut från eller alltså från källaren, trapporna, inifrån porten. Och vi märker ju inte först att han är maskerad, vad som händer. Men ändå så ska jag hålla upp portaren till honom. Då drar personen fram ett vapen. Då knuffar min lillebror Robin.
Den 19 januari 2016, klockan 6 åkte jag och min man hemifrån. Sa hej då till alla barn. Och det sista jag sa till Alejandra var, ta hand om er. Vi ses om en vecka.
Och så ser jag att det kommer någon väldigt hastigt ut från eller alltså från källaren, trapporna, inifrån porten. Och vi märker ju inte först att han är maskerad, vad som händer. Men ändå så ska jag hålla upp portaren till honom. så drar personen fram ett vapen. Då knuffar min lillebror Robin bort armen. Jag trodde att jag hade dött. Men skottet hade touchat mig här på höger sida. Då ställde jag mig upp igen och vände mig om. Då ser jag att min lillebror står med sina armar utåt. Med pistolen riktad mot sitt huvud. Då vänder han sig mot mig med ett smile och säger någonting. Och då får Robin skottet i huvudet.
Och där satt jag på sjukhuset. En 15-åring död, avrättad, och 20-åring nedsövd med 4 skott. Förlamad. Jag gick sönder, så jag har aldrig trott att en människa kan gå sönder så mycket.
I've seen how society was demolished, how those small arms and light weapons could easily affect on the society without feeling it. And you just suddenly feel you are like in the middle of whole chaos. It kills the society, government's institution, everything just like that was demolished. And the thing with the small arms and light weapons is just like everyone has access to them. And then when it starts, it's so hard to stop it.
As parliamentarians, we have to make sure that the chain is complete, both the process of making, distribution and regulating the industry, and then make sure that the weapons don't end up in the wrong hands.
In the Parliamentary Forum, we are gathering parliamentarians across party politics. In the Parliamentary Forum, we are gathering parliamentarians across party political lines around the world. Our objective is to reduce and prevent armed violence with a specific focus on small arms and light weapons. It's very unique because for the first time in Sustainable Development Goal number 16, it is recognized the connection between sustainable development, peace and security, and illicit flows of arms.
Vous êtes invités à présent à la photo du groupe. Ça se passe juste dans le jardin en face de l'hémicycle. Je vous remercie.
have to come to very soon. Brother, how are you? Good to see you guys. You know, sometimes now I believe in the protocol. You're supposed to sign the protocol so that you are always here.
Very good. I'm looking for the
So you are just here today?
It must be this morning.
Super.